Welcome back to Session 0, where I'm continuing my playthrough of Final Fantasy VII while talking about tabletop role-playing games. Today's episode is going to have a very long but very important flashback, and I'm going to try to go slow enough through the text so that you can watch it, or so that you can read it. Loading times are slow on PS1 hardware, so bear with me. So we ended right outside of Kalm. This is called the Kalm Flashback, even though the flashback itself is taking place in a different city called Nibelheim. Speedrunners can skip this, and if I didn't say it in the last episode, I don't think I did. Speedrunners can actually skip almost the entirety of Disc 1 at this point. It's really involved. It sets up, or it uses setting up the memory to think you're in a different place you are, so that you can basically walk across the water, but the game thinks it's solid ground. I am not going to learn how to do that. I think it's super technical, and it's super awesome, but it also skips some of the really cool things about this run, for me anyway. There's a boss called Materia Keeper that it skips. It skips the Temple of the Ancients altogether, so it's not a skip I would even want to do. We skip a couple really fun bosses that can be challenging, and even though I'm going to do a grind probably either at the end of this session or this video or the next one, to get through some of those harder parts, that's still part of the fun of the game for me. So I'm not going to, even if I could do it, I wouldn't skip all of Disc 1. Now, I say that, but I'm also playing Final Fantasy Tactics on Nintendo Switch because it would be really, really slow on PlayStation 1 because we have some new quality of life enhancements with the Ivalice Chronicles. Basically, you can hold the fast forward button in battles to really speed up battles, and you can skip every cutscene in the game. Well, not all of them. If there's a cutscene that has a choice, you can't skip that one. But 99% of the cutscenes in that game you can skip. So it makes that game a lot faster. And I have played through the story, 6 or 7 times at this point. So I don't need to see the story. It's really about the gameplay for me in Final Fantasy Tactics. And what ends up happening in that game is you do a grind early, about 2.5 hours or so for me. I saw a speedrunner do that grind in 40 minutes, and it kind of blew my mind. And I was taking notes on that so that I could learn how to do that grind myself. But I do it in about 2.5 hours, and then the rest of the game is just story missions which you completely annihilate. So some of the difficulty in Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy Tactics is, learning how to do these certain missions. Okay, in this battle, they're going to use sleep on me. So you put armor on that prevents sleep, or you put an accessory on that prevents sleep, etc. In the new way I'm doing it, I just go in and obliterate everyone before they even have a chance to put me to sleep. And that's the new strat for that game. The strat for me, I should say, for that game. So that's a game I don't mind missing the story on, because the fun of that game was the battles. And even though I'm trivializing the battles, there's still some difficulty in, this didn't defeat all the enemies, now I have to worry about so-and-so. So there is still some fun in that game, and it's really fun to sit down with a game, a really complicated, involved game, and crush it in 6 hours. That's pretty awesome. The speedrunner I was talking about did it in 1 hour and 48 minutes. It's crazy. So this is Cloud's hometown, and we've seen it before. We've seen it in the flashback with Cloud and Tifa. So this is also Tifa's hometown. And he's going to bring up the fact that Sephiroth's mother's name is Jenova, the headless spook in the Shinra Mansion. Or Shinra headquarters. I always want to say Shinra Mansion. Shinra Mansion is actually in this city, this town. This flashback also has one of the coolest cutscenes in any game, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, that's right. Visit with your families. So I do want to show here. Now, this is the town of Nibelheim. There is Shinra Mansion. This house here is Cloud's house. We saw this in a flashback with Cloud. I'm going to say no here. I believe it was when Cloud was sleeping at Aerith's house before taking her back to Sector 6, Sector 7, whatever, Sector 7. We saw that house and him talking to his mom. We're going to go into Tifa's house now. Cloud, did you go into my house? Yep, I thought you were there. Thought you might be there. Now we're going to go into her bedroom and do something silly. Do you go into my room? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in a video game. I'm taking her orthopedic underwear. I just don't know why that was included, to be honest. Now we have to go over to this piano. I think you have to say that you jammed on it, and that unlocks an elemental materia later, and I'll actually show you where it is in this cutscene, because we're going to see it in this flashback. Now, you don't have to do this, but I always love doing it. It's the Final Fantasy theme on this piano. I already messed it up. I think I've got to do it in one go. There we go. I've heard this melody somewhere before. Managed to play well. That, of course, is the Final Fantasy theme. It's not something I can remember. I can always remember the first part of it, but I had to write it down to be able to do it here. Alright, now we're going to do the thing that advances the game, which is get some rest. Got my Packer Cup here. Packers just played awful against the Bears in a playoff game recently. I was sick and couldn't watch it. But I got up and looked at the box score, and I thought, oh, they must have played really well. They scored 21 in the first half. But no, they did almost nothing in the second half and let Chicago win in the last 2 minutes of a game again. I just don't get it. Sorry for the Packer talk here, but man, it blows my mind. I watched the the highlights video, and I'm like, you had such an amazing start. I just don't understand how they do nothing in so many second halves. Tifa, you're the guide? Sephiroth's all business, let go. Can I please get a picture? And it's actually surprising that Sephiroth says, yeah, sure, and lets him take his picture. Lets him take his picture, but he does. And it turns out this picture is crazy important. Remember that picture was taken. I will bring it up again later. Much later in the game. It's a little ahead. The Mount Nibble Materia Reactor. Such a weird bridge. I don't understand why that bridge goes so far up and then we have to climb down that big thing. I don't know why that bridge just didn't go straight across. There's the music. I know I've said it before, but there is so much good music in this game. He does not care that one of his men has fallen. He's here for business. I think Sephiroth, in some form, would make a really interesting character in an RPG game. A really fun, maybe not fun, but an interesting NPC. He does not care about anything but the job for the most part. And then, well, I won't say this part yet, but pretty soon his character changes a lot. We see this materia fountain. Later in the game, because I played that piano, I can get an elemental materia from that mana fount. The thing is, I don't know if I had to play that piano in this cutscene to do that, or if I have to play it when I get to Mount Nibble, or to Nibelheim in the future. Either way, I'm going to play the piano when I get there again, so it doesn't matter, and I always kind of do that. I always play it twice, once in the flashback and once when I get to that point in the game. So I don't know if I had to play it then or later to make that elemental materia appear. Man once told me to never use an unscientific term such as mysterious power. It shouldn't even be called magic. I still remember how angry he was. Who was it? It was Hojo, who we have seen. And who we will see again. I really love the story of Final Fantasy VII. I think that's why I don't want to do any of the skips. Even though I am still practicing the guard skip just to save some time in Midgar, the story of this game is really cool, and I would hate to miss any of that by being able to skip cutscenes. Now, that said, I've watched this story so many times, I know it. So if I could skip the cutscenes, that would make me happy too. Still haven't been in a menu to see. I had to redo the capture for this, and I still haven't been able to see if it's going to line up the way I want it to. I hate this chain. I also hate that this is how we get into the reactor. We've got to climb down these chains. Those chains don't make it very easy, and maybe that's the point. I don't want people just climbing around in here. See the sign up there that says Genova. I do feel like I've got a lot of wasted space on the screen. There's a lot of black space around the video, but it like does different things when you get to a menu. So I didn't mess with any of that because I wanted to be able to show the menu properly. I can't just go look in the window. I've actually got to have him tell me to look through the window here. That's a little annoying. I was mashing buttons one day so angry. I'm like, okay, look through the window. And then I realized I have to go talk to him first. Okay. I said a few minutes ago that his character really changes. Well, here's the change. He goes a little bit down the path of insanity here because he thinks maybe he... Oh, he didn't say it there. I thought he said it there. There it is. He thought he was created this way in this tank. So I was special in some way, but not like this. This is pretty cool too. The more I hear, the more I hate Shinra. I do like that you can save in the middle of this cutscene, and I wish I would have saved there just because that is a cool... The rest of this is a really neat thing to go back and watch again, and then you don't have to watch the first part. Of course, now we've got it recorded, so I wouldn't have to go back. I can just watch this video if I want to see this flashback again. Gotta go to Shinra Mansion. I will come back to this mansion, because this is still part of the flashback, but I'll come back to this mansion one more time in the game. I do it a lot later than I probably should, but there's a little mini boss in the mansion that I want to be able to defeat easily. So I come back like on disc 3 to do that and get Vincent, who is another missable character. Missable isn't the word I'm trying to say, though. Recruitable character. I'm going to recruit Yuffie at some point, and then I can come back to Shinra Mansion and recruit another character called Vincent. So in a tabletop game, they would play out like NPCs, I think, because you're not going to recruit. Well, I shouldn't say that way. I shouldn't say you're not going to recruit. That could be an interesting way if a new player wants to join your party. You can have a scene where you recruit that character to your party, to your team. So that is doable. But it also would just be a cool NPC that they have to recruit into helping them. So I'll show you 2 different recruitments here. I'll recruit Yuffie, maybe even in this episode. And then, well, probably in this episode. And then Vincent comes a lot later. His recruitment is slightly different. And it's more difficult because you have to fight a boss to be able to do it. So I'm going to show you this. There's a safe in here. I don't even think I can interact with it now. I can't. But later on when I come in, I'll open that safe. That gives me a key to the room that Vincent is in. But as soon as I open it, I have to fight a boss battle. And I think, for me anyway, he's a little bit too overpowered, or a little bit too difficult when I come in to Nibelheim at the normal time. But when I come back at disc 3, he's super easy to beat. I like just do a Comet 2 at him and he's gone. This room here is where Vincent is, but that's locked. So I need to get that key out of the safe. Sephiroth here, going deeper into insanity, thinks he was produced by Professor Gast, who we don't learn a whole lot about here, although we could. I kind of skip over that stuff. We get to learn a lot more about him when we get to Icicle Inn, which is in Disc 2, pretty close to the beginning of Disc 2. One thing I don't like about the control scheme for this game is, like, when the camera changes sometimes, each camera or each screen has its own button mapping. Maybe that's not the best way to put it, but like coming out of there, I needed to hit left or hold left until I got to the point with the stairs, and then once I see the stairs, I start holding up. that fire right in the middle, I'll put an arrow pointing to it. When I get to Cosmo Canyon, I want to see if that's the same fire, because it looks like there's logs there. Let's go into Cloud's house. He comes out shaking his head. And now we get one of the most amazing cutscenes in any video game, in my opinion. And this is part of the thumbnail, or part of this is the thumbnail for this video. Oh, a little bit later. Come on, here it comes. Right here. Him looking up at you with those Mako eyes, with the flames in the background. I mean, that is one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen in any video game in my life. Maybe not, but maybe it's just nostalgia, but definitely as a 17-year-old, that was the most awesome thing I'd ever seen. So yeah, we're 27 minutes in and we're still in this cutscene, this flashback. Oh, and I did want to do something, and maybe I can still do it. Let's go look at our menu. Materia. The only piece of materia he has is a preemptive materia. It basically increases the rate you get a preemptive strike, but increasing your dexterity by 2 is awesome as well. That piece of materia is really important much later in the game. I'll show you when that happens, but it kind of blew my mind that was there. And it's not something I discovered on my own. What's going on here? Here's Tifa yelling, Papa. Sephiroth. It looks like Sephiroth's sword there, too. But yeah, I did not discover that on my own. I watched other videos talking about that, and it makes a scene later in the game make sense. So I'm glad they included it there. But I never would have thought to even look at his materia to see if that was the case until I watched that other video. Really not sure how Tifa didn't die in this situation, to be honest. I figured Sephiroth would just cut her in half. You promised you would come when I was in trouble. He is destined to be ruler of this planet. This is another cool cutscene, but not as cool as the flames. Excuse me, I'm so tired. And later, about 5 years later in game time, in story time, we see a headless version of that at Shinra headquarters. Hojo has it locked away on floor 67. That's the end of the story. What happened to Sephiroth? In terms of skill, I could not have killed him. Official reports say he's dead. I read it in the newspaper. Well, Shinra owns the paper, so you can't rely on that. It's a very interesting statement. I want to know the truth. I want to know what happened then. I challenged Sephiroth and lived. Why didn't he kill me? I'm alive too, which again surprises me. What a fascinating story. PHS, that allows me to change my party on the world map or save points. Alright, before I leave Kalm, I am going to do some shopping. How much money do I have? Okay, I'm not going to do a lot of shopping because I need 2,000. I need about 2,200, excuse me, when I get to the next location. So, let's see what I can do here. I mean, a tent would be nice. I don't really need it. Tranks would be nice. Let's buy one trank. Let's see what I can sell. Oh yeah, we can sell that. We can sell a Titan. We can sell the irons. Let's sell one of those. That gives me plenty of money. 4 slots I don't need anymore. Let's go ahead and buy a couple tents just to have. Now, I talked about doing that grind later. After I do that grind, I'm going to have 99, or I'm going to buy 99 tents. That's 48,000 gil. I'm going to buy 99 of those. I'm going to top off my tranks to 99. That, again, makes the rest of the game super easy. I think I can get a good weapon for Tifa here. This is materia. I don't need poison, earth, heal. I don't really need any of those. Mithril Claw gives her a big boost. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy that. Let's go ahead and buy Cannonball too. We'll equip those. And even though I've got more materia slots here, I don't have the materia to put in them. She's got all restore, he's got all poison, elemental fire. I think I actually do want to put elemental fire on her. So now let's move this ice. Let's do it the easy way. Let's exchange, go to Tifa and put arm to weapon. And then I'm going to take this elemental fire from Barrett. Now he's got sense. I'm going to move this sense here too. And again, those sense materials I'm just letting grow. I'm going to sell those later when I do my, or after I do my big grind and sell a bunch of other stuff. I'm going to sell those sense materials after they've gained some more AP. All right. Make sure I've got the money. Yep, I only need 20. Oh, let's sell those real quick, though. I only need 2,200, but if I've got weapons I'm not going to use, I might as well sell them. Leather glove, only 60, and assault gun for 175 is fine. Got all the grenades I need. Ooh, let's use that guard source. All right, let's get out of Kalm here, and we'll go continue the game. This is another interesting little town, right? There's a few shops, there's an inn. These houses are interesting. There's a guy in one of these called the Kalm Traveler who will give you good stuff if you defeat powerful enemies, mainly emerald and ruby weapon. All right, let's go to the Chocobo Farm. Man, I wish I could speed up battles here. Nice miss on the poison. We're also going to work here in a second. If you know what that means, you know what that means. If you don't know what that means, you're like, what the heck is a wark? Wow. I think that poison hit, though, at least a couple of them, because they are ticking down. Wow, this is crazy how slow this battle is. Hate wasting grenades this way, but I've got plenty. And 24 AP is pretty good. Should be coming up on Choco Farm right now. Chocobo Farm, I always call it Choco. Didn't want to get that one. Let's run from it. Nice run. All right, let's walk up here and work. This is a weird little dance these chocobos do, but it does give us a materia that's going to be pretty powerful in the early game. I wish there was a way to speed this up. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Choco materia. I'm going to go ahead and equip that. to Tifa, I believe. Actually, I like her having luck, and I'll explain that in a moment. So, Chocobo Billy, I need to talk to. It's so weird here that you continue by saying you're not interested. Let's get down to business. Yes, I'll buy it. I'm also going to buy some greens. I'm going to buy a couple of the cheapest greens I can buy. That's just going to ensure that let's buy 3 since I got the money. It's just going to ensure that the Chocobo stays where he is. Now let's equip her with that Chocobo lure. It increases her luck, but also it makes it so that when I'm walking around on the Chocobo prints outside, I can lure a Chocobo. And I need a Chocobo right now. Actually, I don't need it. You can walk over the swamp that's right here in a certain way that the humongous snake doesn't get you. But I do it the old-fashioned way. So Barrett looks like he'll go first. He is going to throw a green. I should have moved these around. And then she is going to start grenading these guys. That should be it right there. Of course not. Okay, got him. Now, ideally, I should have been able to do that without throwing that green. And maybe I could have. But it's stupid when the Chocobo gets away. So I just go ahead and green him. Okay. See this big snake-looking thing? We want to avoid that. And having a Chocobo makes it easy to avoid that. Easier, because like I say, you can actually walk that in a very specific way with some specific timing and get across it without running into that huge snake. And it looks like Sephiroth may have destroyed one of them already. All right, now we are going to... Do I have space on her for that? I don't. See that ice, it's an all restore, elemental fire. May end up taking that ice off of her. And I did that to make room for a materia I'm going to pick up here called Long Range Materia. That allows her attacks to always be long range, which means I can put her in the back row and she's going to take less damage. Let's see if I can beat these guys. So let's do this. Not yet. Oh good, I did get the flamethrower from that. 28 AP is good. Good enough, I should say. Okay, long-range materia, we'll put on Tifa. I always go to equip when I mean to go to materia. Now we can put her in the back row and she'll take less damage. Also, I should go ahead and trank everybody. I think I've only got 2 tranks though. Tranking them means they take less damage too, but their limit gauges grow slower. I don't know if I talked about that in this series already or not. Come on, get that cure off for me. Although I think they'll probably be gone before that cure goes off. There I go. I was just holding the R1 button again because I'm so used to playing Final Fantasy Tactics. That was my Sunday yesterday. I played Final Fantasy Tactics in about a 6-hour marathon and went from beginning of the game to the end. I think there's a tent and an elixir up here. Oh, an ether, yeah. This should be a tent. So I did waste a little bit of money buying that one, but I'm fine with it. And I don't mind taking these battles. It's just growing everything I've got, right? It's growing my AP, it's growing my my experience, so I'll take them. Take these fights. I do enjoy a good grind in video games. I might run from any more encounters just because Barrett's running low on MP. We're gonna see the Turks here. The Turks theme music is really cool too. I just love the music in this game. And again, this is a recurring NPC party, right? This is a party of adventurers who keep showing up. This is the Turks, Team Rocket, whatever, however you want to use them in your game, but have another party always kind of interfering with your PC's party. You know, just have them show up, and it doesn't have to be battle all the time. Like, this is not a battle. We don't get into a battle with them here. It's just talking to them. I wonder if there was supposed to be more to Mithril Mine too, because of where she is and she's climbing down from. It looks like there's an area to the right of that So I wonder if we were supposed to be able to find, you know, a lower spot and climb up that and go somewhere else. I'm not sure. There are a few goodies in this room. I mean, elixir is huge. And a high pot's not bad either. But elixirs are going to be especially big in my final grind of the game. I only do 3 grinds. Oh, these guys are easy. So my third and final grind of the game takes place in the Northern Cavern, which is the last area in the game before the final battles. And there's an enemy there called Magic Pot. You can hit them and you don't do any damage to them unless you feed them an elixir first. So you feed them an elixir and then you can knock them out. And when you knock them out, you get like 1,000 AP for each of them. And once I'm in that part of the dungeon, I have unlimited... Oh, come on, where's the climby bit here? It's pissing me off. I have functionally unlimited elixirs, infinite elixirs, and my weapons have... 2 of my weapons have triple AP growth, and 1 of them has double. So I'm gaining a lot of materia, or a lot of AP growth on my materia in the final cavern, and that's why I do my final grind there. Now I do want to... Do I have anything yet? Protects against poison. Let's put that there. We're also going to use one of those tents and save just in case. I'm a big proponent of saving just in case, because I could get some enemies here that are pretty strong. There are some enemies here that are pretty strong. That reminds me, I want to have an all fire. Got all poison. Who has my fire? She has it there. So let's... What is that one? That is the ice. So he's going to all fire. I'm just going to give her elemental poison right now, although I don't necessarily need it. The big thing is there are some enemies in these woods that hit really hard, but they go down to fire pretty easy. Now I should be able to find Yuffie in here. I'm going to try it like 3 times, and if I don't, I'm going to move on. That thing's not going to cast a white wind on me, so I'm just going to run. Look at that cover materia coming in handy. But hopefully I'll be able to pick up Yuffie here and then not have to worry about it later. Also, I learned in a pretty recent run that there's a really neat scene that you get if you have Yuffie. These are the guys here that hit hard, so I wanted the all fire for them. They're going to give me a lot of AP. know what I can steal from these guys, if anything. Just Choco-Mog them and get rid of them. And that's the best way to do it. Just Choco-Mog them from the beginning. Should take them out. But look at that. That's 30 AP and 300 experience. It's worth doing that battle. So I'm going to try twice more to get Yuffie here. If I get her, good. If I don't, I'm going to move on. And I'll pick her up before Cosmo Canyon. Come on, give me Yuffie. There she is. Alright, it's not difficult to defeat her, but you have to do a certain sequence of, dialogue prompts after you defeat her to get her in your party. Alright, so I've defeated her. If you don't do this dialogue properly, you have to keep defeating her until you do it properly. So let's go up and talk to her. Do not go to that save point. If you go to that save point, everybody disappears. So, or she disappears and you have to try again. So the order of the dialogue prompts is start at number 2, the second option, and then you flip-flop. Second, first, second. So first time we'll do the second option. Go talk to her again. Say you're petrified. And you know, as a gamer, second option, as a gamer in my teens, I just had to brute force this, right? I tried the first option the first time, it didn't work. So I had to fight her and defeat her again. And then I've kind of lost track of where I was. And then the next time I tried the second option, oh, that worked. And then I got into the next, dialogue option, and the first option worked again. And then you get to the third one, and you have to go to number 2. So I just had to keep doing that. Okay, it was 2, it was 1, then it's 2, and you have to keep going back and forth. And then much later, I learned that it's just 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If I had known that when I was a kid, they would have made that a lot faster. Now, she does have some materia we're going to steal. Because I don't ever... Oops, let's do it this way. I don't ever use Yuffie in my game. She's got the throw. Who comes with manipulate? Oh, it's Kate Sith who comes with manipulate. I don't use this throw materia either, but if I have space for it, we can at least let it grow and I can sell it too. Alright, now we're going to Junon. And I'll save right outside of Junon because it is kind of a pain. Oh, what did I do here? Where's Junon? Duh. Junon has this humongous cannon. I shouldn't have gotten that fight, man. I'm just messing around here. So dumb. Let's just run from these. we are going to tent. And let's go ahead. Oh, I do have 3 tranks. Now, after a battle that I'm going to have here, I'm going to lose those tranks, but that's fine. Basically, anytime you rest in the game, it removes all of your statuses. So if I'm tranquilized and sad, that all goes away. I do have a boss fight here. Let's make sure my materia is set up. I need someone with poison. Did I give it to her? Okay, she does have it. I can still use grenades in this fight. They'll still be handy. And I think I can buy more grenades here in... This is Lower Junon. What do they call it? Under Junon, not Lower Junon. I think I've always called it Lower Junon myself. Alright, we want to try to poison this fellow as quickly as possible. Looks like Tifa will probably come up last. Ooh, got him first try. And that poison is important where he's flashing green here. That's just extra damage every turn. Let's just chuck grenades. Now I will use a cure with Tifa next time she comes around. Now that bubble is bad. He's going to start losing health quickly. We can break that bubble with magic. Oh, I don't know if that'll do it though. 0. No, let's ice it. And see, while I'm messing around with that bubble, I can still do other things. Or I should say, while I'm messing around with that bubble, I can still get damage because of that poison. That poison is still going off on him. Get on the bubble. I don't want to bolt Barret. Okay, I didn't need to. Now that is a fight that could go wrong. I've definitely got a game over on that screen. Another reason I like to save beforehand. Alright, now we're coming up on a neat little thing. I mean, it's kind of neat. It is what it is. You have to do CPR on this little girl. And that's really good in tabletop, I think. Not like having to do CPR, but put your players' characters in a position to help someone, to save someone's life. Saving this little girl's life does have some interesting consequences. We get a piece of materia, which is nice. She also gives us a really easy way to get up to Upper Junon. I'm going to count to 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and release. You have to do that several times. Seven, 8, 9. I think you have to do it 4 or 5 times. I think you need 50 breaths. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 27 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 45. Okay, and it doesn't take 45. Maybe it only takes 40. I don't remember, but somewhere between 36 and 45, and I think it might be 40. Next time I play, I will try that. Just do 40 and see if that does it. Now we're going to do the thing which advances the story, and that is take a rest. But before I do, I'm going to go buy, see if I got more grenades here. I don't remember. Yeah, let's get a bunch more grenades. They're only going to be really useful in one more battle, so let's just get that up to 50, and that's probably way too many as well. Don't really need anything else here. Okay. Yeah, that was way too many. Not necessarily way too many. It would if I was only doing that battle once, but the next battle I do, I'm going to do it a whole bunch of times. 53 if I can. And although I'm not going to use grenades through all of them because I'm going to be growing my materia, the first couple passes take a little bit of time, and then after that they get really fast because your materia is growing, you are growing in level. And I'm going to do that with a glitch, which I'll explain. Doesn't look like I'm going to get there in this video. Let's rest. And now my sadness will go away because of that. And who is it that Cloud is talking to here when he sleeps? 5 years ago in Nibelheim, when you went to Mount Nibel then, Tifa was your guide, right? Yeah, I was surprised. But where was Tifa other than that? I don't know. It was a great chance for you two to see each other again. Why couldn't you see each other alone? Why don't you ask Tifa? And I did not pick up on any of this when I was a kid. Knowing the story like I know now, it's like, aha! When Sephiroth and I went to Nibelheim, where were you? We saw each other, right? The other time. It was 5 years ago, I don't remember. She remembers. We just don't know yet as the players. Alright, this old lady gets in my way. She's annoying. Let's go up here. She is going to give me a materia, which is nice. a summon. And those summons are useful in this next battle that I get into, although it won't be for a little bit of time. I heard they're rehearsing the reception for the new Shinra president, Rufus. There's a high voltage current running underneath the tower. Mr. Dolphin might help you. It's gotta be Cloud. I think that's so funny. Oh, high voltage. Let's just let Cloud take care of it. Before I forget, let's equip that materia, even though he might not be the one. Yeah, I can go ahead and give it to him. That's fine. Go in the water and blow the whistle, and Mr. Dolphin will jump you up the pole. So now it doesn't matter where you are. If you blow the whistle, he jumps, and you end up somewhere else. This is exactly where you need to be. So next time you do it, he jumps you right up to the top of the pole. The High Wind, beautiful airship. So back when Google Plus was a thing, I talked about putting airships in your game, and a bunch of people came on saying, oh, don't ever put an airship in your game, because the first thing your players are going to want to do is steal it and take off in it. Well, if that's what happens, that's what happens. But you can also safeguard it, right? Put it in a highly secured area so they can't just waltz in and steal it. Make them pay dearly for it if they want to steal it. And then they're like, oh, but it opens up the map and they can go anywhere you want, or anywhere they want. Well, they can go anywhere they want anyway, right? I mean, that's the game. What's going on here? Get in there. This next segment is a pain in the butt, and I dislike it a lot, but I'm going to get through it and then save. That'll take us a little bit beyond an hour and a half for this episode. Here's a cool case of mistaken identity, right? Put some mistaken identity in your game. No matter how you do it, just have someone think a player character is someone else. And just see what happens, because that can be a lot of fun. Maybe they look a lot like the president of the country or the town that you're in, right? So just use mistaken identity. I think it can be a lot of fun. Oh, this parade is so dumb. I do like the music here, though. And what was I playing the other day? I was playing Final Fantasy VIII not too long ago. And there's a segment where they have this parade music. I thought that was really cool. Was it Final Fantasy VIII? It had to have been Final Fantasy VIII. Oh, no, it was probably Final Fantasy IX. Yeah, it was Final Fantasy IX. I've only played Final Fantasy IX a couple times. I've played 8 a bunch, and I don't remember that in 8, so it must have been 9. Let's do a save. Well, I didn't mean to go out that door. Come on. This is the one thing I hate about the control scheme of this game. I'm going to save, and I'm not going to use this save spot to cheese the game, like, and try again. I'm just going to do it because this, I like to have a save spot. And if I save it there, this gives me a place I can practice. Because this segment is awkward, and I always get it wrong. I shouldn't say that. I got it right one time that I've played, and I've played this game a whole lot. So I'm trying to get better at this segment so that I can consistently do really good at it. So that save spot gives me a save I can load and practice with. I might save that on my other slot too. I've got one save on that other slot, and that's a point where I can practice that guard skip. I should save this there as well. So next time I load it, I'll save that on the second card. And this is it here, just merging with the parade is just so dumb. I always get it wrong. And that thing that soldier just did isn't a good example because it doesn't quite work out that way. Like, he's going to say charge and you need to move forward, and even if you're not in the right place, you still just keep going, and that seems to work. So he's going to yell charge here. I'm going to go forward a little bit. Oh, I went too far. And we didn't do the thing. What the hell was that soldier doing? I don't know. Well, you're fired. So I got a grenade for that. You can get 5,000 gil there, and that's what I was going for, but I just don't know why I can't get consistent at that. Well, I shouldn't say that. I do know why. It's because I don't practice it. I told you to stop laughing like that. This whole upper Junon part is really cool looking. I mean, you've got all those doors. You've got this little tramway going up. My chair is really creaky. Sorry about that. I know the mic picked that up. part you don't really have to do. Actually, you can't do it, it looks like. The next part of this parade, I do the best I can at, because it gives Cloud a really good weapon that has double growth, which is nice because I'm going to... Oh my god, you gotta pay attention to the dialogue. I've got to do this all over again. So I was just mashing the button. But the next big battle I get in, I'm gonna grind, so having double AP growth is really nice. What's today's special pose? Wow, that's awesome. Oh. My computer just went to sleep. Hopefully that didn't mess up the recording much. I wonder if I'm gonna be... Hopefully I didn't lose any frames in Audible. I need to change so that it never goes to sleep. Let's save again because I'm going to save on a new save file so I can come back to that one to practice the parade route. Couple shops I'm going to go into, but I'm not really going to spend any money. I don't remember which shops they are, so I need to... So what I always end up doing is just going into all of them, which is dumb. I should just remember the shops I need. Look at that, there's Rude walking by. He's going to go into a little bar. Yeah, I think this is just a weapon shop. I do like a revive. I can't pay for it right now. I mean, I could sell that power wrist. Don't really want to. What do high pots sell for? Okay, that'll get me the... And I shouldn't have done it that fast, because I still need to buy. So I guess I was wrong. I am going to spend a little bit of money. And I've got to remember to put that on someone when I get my full party back. Now, this little area here, that's where Rude went. There's a bar down there. I'm going to go in here. This is just item shop. There's a couple places that aren't shops that I'm going to go into. Okay. This one, there is another enemy skill materia down here. Although I've never really used more than one. But there is a 100% category in speedrunning where you have to get all 4 of the enemy materia, and you have to fully load all 4 of the enemy materia. So that is a really crazy run. The 100% run is just a tad under 16 hours for world record, but it's really fascinating to watch the things they have to do to make sure they're getting everything in the game. I'll use those sources once I have a full party again. We are going to come down this hallway in the future. Right now, we don't need to. Although that is a good place to do some grinding. That is not where I'm going to be doing my grinding. There's, I think, one more of these I really need to go into. That's a bar. I think that might be the bar where Rude goes to. This is the inn, right? Yeah, I could save there. We're right at an hour 30, but there's nothing in there I need to buy, and I don't have any money anyway. I think, oh, I thought there was a... Yeah, don't need any of that and can't afford it anyway. I do need to... I want to put that power wrist on him before I forget. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to save right here at the Shinra Inn, or the Junon Inn. So that gets us right to an hour and a half, and then in my next video, I'm going to do my long grind. And of course, I'm not going to show that whole grind, but I'm going to do my grind, and we'll go from there. And then open up the story for some more as well. So that's episode 2 of Final Fantasy VII. This is actually episode 3 of Final Fantasy VII, while talking about tabletop RPGs. I think there's some really cool stuff that came out of this particular episode. You know, having, again, Team Rocket show up, Team Rocket being the Turks, having the opportunity to save an NPC's life. Put those things in your game, they can be really fun. Also, foreshadow airships in your game. Even if they are not going to be able to get an airship right now, show an airship flying by. Maybe that's the best way to do it. Have an airship flying through the air and, you know, going off in the distance. So it's not something where your player's like, ooh, let's go steal that. But they see that airships are a part of your game. So that's it today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, tell me in the comments whether you like this or not. Give me any kind of feedback. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Am I talking about tabletop enough? Just let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.